What's up, y'all? I'm PC McCray. You can call me P.
Hey y'all, my name is Shaun the Head. You can call me Shaun the Head. And this is the Everything Has Changed podcast.
From 2 college roommates to 40-something adults, life has been lifing and we want to talk about it.
We are the new adults, y'all.
How did that happen?
I don't know, P, but we got to talk about it.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's go.
What up?
Hey, P. What's up?
Hi, my friend. Another day. I will say today I feel better. I've had a good few days.
Okay, better. You better be better.
Better. That's right.
Yes.
Better.
Yes.
Better.
Yeah.
Better.
You look good too, P. You look
You.
nice and refreshed, spring chicken like, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Young and spry.
Yes.
Oh man.
I feel it. I think I had a really good weekend. My chapter, the Orange County alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, we participated in the Tour de Cure American Diabetes Association. They have
I like that
this
name.
race, this cycling ride where you can donate and you have your team. It was 19 of us riders and
Oh, that's
about
a lot.
20, and about 20 sorors who were in the rest area and gave out snacks and water and all that stuff. So we were very, very present. We needed to be present. And next year, I just want us to do bigger and better. And I posted it on my Instagram so folks can go and look and see what we did on our cycling gear. We looked good and we did good.
Listen,
So
I
that
saw the
helped.
pictures. I
Yeah.
said, okay, lady, when was they exercising? Because none of these women looked like they was outside sweating or biking or nothing. Y'all look good. Like y'all was finna go hang out outside or something. I was like, okay.
Yeah, the first set of pictures was before the race. And we
Oh,
didn't take
okay.
too many after the race. Yeah.
Understood. Okay. And I said, y'all look good. Okay. Maybe you want to go get a bike. Yeah.
Yes,
And I can't
biking.
even, I honestly, P,
You're so
I can't ride
crazy.
a bike.
No, but you
I
know
cannot
what?
ride a bike.
Some of the sorors, until this event, they hadn't been on a bike since they were children. So it's okay. We had
Is it
practices
okay?
and riding and we would meet. Yes. You don't
Y'all
have to get like the
practice?
top
Y'all
bike
practice
like me.
bike riding for this?
Yes.
That's a nice
Yes. We
idea,
had
P.
groups, whoever the sorors in different parts of the city, they met up because
Yeah,
we have a lot of trails here in Orlando and they
yeah.
would just ride or even just riding around your
Oh,
block.
that's
We
nice.
had sorors just
Yeah.
practicing and yeah, it was great. It wasn't, now I'll say this, there was like, you could do 66 miles, 33 or
Excuse me,
12.
66 miles?
Listen. Those are the
Okay, wait.
professionals.
I only know about like walking, running miles, right? So you know how I guess like a regular person might be going after a 15-minute mile, right? For like walking, running or whatever. 66 miles sounds crazy, but I know nothing about biking. So like how far can you get in 15 minutes on a bike? How many miles would that equal? Or 30 minutes?
Let me say, when I usually do my rides, I ride about 12 to 14 and I take an hour. But that's
Okay.
also me finding a spot. I sit and I have like my little bar
Yeah.
and have a moment and come back. So, but again, these cyclists have like $15,000 bikes and they're going at 18 to 25 miles an hour. No,
Who is
it's
on a $15,000 bike?
yo,
Don't all bikes have like
listen.
some brakes and some what else
Mm-mm,
is there?
mm-mm, mm-mm,
No?
mm-mm,
Tell me, because
mm-mm.
I don't know.
Real cycling is
Yeah.
no joke. No joke. My bike I'll just say it was over $2,000. It's
Okay.
carbon fiber.
Okay. All right.
It's a off-road crossover bike, but
Mhm.
those real racing bikes, those guys and those people, they had to be there at like 5:30 because we went in waves.
Oh,
So like
okay.
the real racers were there and they were on their way. Um, they 18 miles to 25 miles an hour, they're pushing, they're pedaling,
Okay.
they're
Okay.
going, they're going. So I don't know about that time, how fast that is, but think Lance Armstrong and those type of races.
Yeah,
They're
like,
they're
it
going that
looks
fast.
crazy.
It's
Yeah, up and down
crazy.
hills and stuff, yeah.
It's crazy, but they train for this, they do that. So we did the family ride
Yeah, might
as
as
a gr
well. Y'all
we
did,
were
like,
like,
the Sunday driving version.
for the sorors who wanted to go a little bit faster and push themselves, they
Yeah,
could, and then the others, like I said, who were this was their first time, like, really, really riding, we just went at our own pace.
yeah.
And it was great, but it woke something up in me, and I was like, "You know what? I miss going back on my rides." And so, that's the thing. I wanna say a couple of episodes ago, I was looking for something, and that was it.
Mhm,
It was for a
mhm.
good cause, and it felt good. And so, Imma get back
Mm.
out there on my bike and ride.
'Cause how often do
It's
you do, like, are they are they this is, I'm sure, a dumb question. Are they still called marathons when you're biking? Just like,
so
that you have marathons that you run? I'm asking because 'cause I'm like, how often do you do, like, a biking marathon? So, like, if you signed up for more of those, do you feel like that would give you something more to look forward to?
yes and no, and again, every race has levels. So even if you're running, they have a
Mhm,
beginner's level, and so I
mhm,
will still
mhm.
be there. I ain't crazy. But some people that we met there, we got their information, and they wanted us to join their riding club, and so
Oh,
I'm gonna be doing
nice.
that.
Oh, that's
Yes.
nice, P.
So I'll keep you posted on that, and
Yeah,
I'll
post
learn more.
pictures.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
As I
nice.
go. But that's my update on trying to
I like
get
that.
myself back. Look at God. Thank you, Lord. And how
Yeah,
about
that's
you?
cool.
How are you feeling?
I'm doing fine. I know I think maybe it was that same episode we talked about me and the books,
Mhm.
and I got my
Uh-oh. Here we
I
go.
started my book my new bookshelf. 'Cause I think I was saying, like, we had to when granny moved in, we had to kinda get rid of a lot of stuff to make room and stuff, so I, like, need a new bookcase and all that. I haven't got a new bookcase just yet, but I finally got my physical books,
Mhm.
okay? I've been I got on Goodreads, I got on Fable, so those are,
Okay.
like, social media networks for readers specifically, and then the authors themselves have pages on there, and you leave reviews XYZ, but it just allows you and I'm literally just doing this for me, like, ain't nobody
Yes.
finna follow along me, but I get to write in, like, "Okay, here's how many books I read in March. Here are the names of the books. Were they 3-star? Were they 4-star? Were they 5-star?" That kinda thing, and so I wanted to just be able to look and see what I've done this year,
Nice.
so I had to set a goal and all that stuff, and then I got me some annotating supplies.
I
So
love it.
this is how much of a nerd I am because once I decide I'm going all in on something. So I am now about to be the lady with the physical books that has all the tabs in them and the highlights and the markers, which generally in my life has always I take notes that way. So that's why I would always love a physical book or a textbook or something. Like it would always be highlighting stuff. But
Mhm.
now I'm becoming one of those ladies that do that on their fiction books. And I
Okay.
guess I will say this, and I might edit it out just
Okay.
in case, but I guess just to keep me honest, I will let everybody know that I actually decided to write a novel, and so
Yes. Come
I have
on.
been yeah, I hadn't even told you yet,
I
and so but
know.
I
This is
have
brand new for me.
'cause I was going to tell you, P, but I was like, "I'm gonna wait until a certain point that I know it's actually happening, because in a
Yes.
month, it might be like, "You know what? Fuck this shit, never mind."
Mm-mm.
But
Nope.
I have
Nope.
been outlining a novel, and it's very interesting because when we talked about so many episodes ago about me and this year being about my inner child and what my inner child wanted to do, and so as I got back into reading for real, I remember one of my first really when I realized I had talent in something, it was actually writing, and so I've been writing all my life. I used to write short stories and all that stuff and of course the poetry and stuff. And so when I started back reading and I realized, oh, I actually always wanted to write a book, like a novel. And
Mhm.
so when I was reading, I was like, I could never do this. And then after like a couple weeks, I was like, could
Yes.
like, I got a
Yes.
story in my head though. Maybe
Yes.
I'll try. And then as I kept reading, and then I got on the booktube, watching the book influencers. And then I happened upon a lady who taught you how to outline your novel. And
Mhm.
look, mommy will always call me a professional student. I love to learn. Okay.
You gotta be a
If
student of
I have
life.
like
Absolutely.
I love to learn a new thing. And so I hopped on
Yes.
that, you know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, I started outlining a story. So
Okay.
that's all I'm
Okay.
willing to say about it right now because I don't wanna lock myself in too much, but the outline is definitely coming along. I'm a bit surprised, but
Yes.
also every day a bit like, "All right, now why you think you can do this though?" Like,
'Cause you
a lot of people
can.
can write that on me, but the actual story, the beat structure, the plotting, the foreshadowing, I'm like, "This is hard."
Mhm.
But as long
You
as
can
I
do
feel
it.
like there's a story that maybe I can tell, I'm gonna attempt to do it. Even honest to God, even if it's just for me to finish and just look at it myself and be like, "Girl, you did that." Okay.
You'll do it. I'm
Um,
proud of you. Yes.
Thanks, P. And that's why I'm like, oh, do I say this? Because I now I
Yes.
gotta be accountable.
You
Right.
do.
But
Mhm.
I absolutely it's it was kind of a big deal to me. I really have actually only told literally like two people. So but
Yeah.
I'm gonna try it. And nowadays, the indie publishing, it used to be, or at least people used to think that, oh, you gotta do it because
It's an
you have no other
amazing
choice. But nowadays, no, people
big
are
deal.
actually they're deciding to go indie because that's what works for them. If anybody has like a little skill set to the side of being able to market themselves as an indie author, or because really what you're doing is you're setting up your own publishing company,
Mhm.
right? So that's what you're doing. It's just for your books. And so I'm like, well, I've been working as like a small business owner since 2017. So I was like, I might have some skill sets that I could put towards this that would help me out, with this. But even if not, it's a creative project for me. Is really what it is. I will still like I've
Excellent.
been yeah, so I've been researching, like, I probably still will pitch it if it makes it that far as my
You
writing
will.
or the synopsis. I just gotta get past the outline first, but I'm fully prepared to be an indie author.
Let's
Hey,
go.
that's all I
It's
know.
already written. It's
Now
done.
again, we're in April now at this point, so if I don't say nothing else about it, this never happened.
Nope. Imma stay on her, y'all. Don't you worry. We'll have an update at some point. Mm-mm. You put it
This
out there
never
now, so
happened.
mm-mm. No, ma'am. I'm holding you accountable.
But it's kind of weird because again, we always talk about the stuff that I forgot that I was into, the stuff and that was one of my dreams that I forgot. And just the way that
Let's
this
do
year has
it.
happened, it's it came back to me. So, here we are, following our
The
inner child.
arts.
The
I love
arts.
it.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. But
Yes.
hey, so this weekend, I text you out the blue because I had started watching this new documentary on Apple called Number One on the Call Sheet, and I was like, "Please tell me you're watching this because we gotta talk about this on the
And I was
podcast."
like,
And
"Yes, you
you
already
had already
know.
watched it. Of course, like,
You
I know
already
who I'm talking
know."
to. So we must discuss, P, because maybe we're biased because we're totally into entertainment, television, film production, but it was an excellent documentary. Number One on the Call Sheet. Guys, if you don't know, documentary on Apple that just came out at the end of March that covers basically all of our Black movie stars currently. when I say covers, like, they actually got to sit them all down. You know, when you watch a documentary and you might have, like, one really, really well-known person or two really, really well-known person, and then you have, like, people's assistants and managers.
Mhm.
They went and got everybody. P.
Everybody.
People that don't talk.
Everyone. Everyone who's ever number 1 on the call sheet.
And I was like, "Ah, this is good, this is good," and so, um, I took notes, as I do, and
Of
I know you
course.
got some notes too. We must discuss but let me ask you this, is it more than 2 episodes? Because each episode is an hour and a half, so it makes it basically like a 3-hour documentary. They split it into 2. There's an hour and a half on the men, um, and an hour and a half on the women, of
Right.
Black movie
So
stars.
far, that's it. Mhm.
Is that it? So is that the whole thing? Or are we looking forward to
I
more? I don't know.
I wanna say that's it. Now they have it listed as season 1, so maybe in the future, but right now, I haven't seen anything other than these 2.
Okay, so here's what I will say. I actually didn't finish the 2nd episode.
What?
Yeah, I did, of the women, so I had to go back and finish. But here's what I will say. This is the only quote unquote negative thing I actually have to say about this too. But it really appeared, and this might just be me looking at it from the production side of things, just because I know a little bit about production. It really appears like they had 2 different productions, the one for the men and the one for the women. So, like, the one for
Mm,
the men, they had a certain setup visually, aesthetically, in their homes or office environments, whatever, whether they were theirs or whether they were
mhm.
rented, because a lot of production stuff, they'll just, like, rent a home and shoot in there. But, like, we know Jamie Foxx's was
Right.
recorded at his home because he made a point to say that. But the women, they recorded them in a studio in front of, like, a seamless paper backdrop. I didn't like that.
With
I
some flowers next to
With
them.
flowers, even the lighting was different. Sometimes the lighting was too artistically lit. So it's like, but I actually can't see her face. Like, I would love to see her face, you know? And I didn't care for how starkly different the women's episode was shot versus the men's episode. And you could also hear, cuz the guy, oh, and I know his name. It's escaping me right now, but I'm assuming he was like executive producer or director of the whole thing. He spoke a lot in the men's segment. I keep wanting to say Sanaa Lathan's dad, but it's not him. It's not him. It's the other guy. We'll have to look it up. But it almost seemed like he wasn't a part of the
I'm
second
looking
one
it
with the
up.
women. But even when they were asking the women questions, it was a woman asking. It's like they decided to say, "Hey, women, we're gonna let you do your own thing, and we're gonna let the men do their own thing." But no, everybody should be on the same level because it looks like the men's was more intentional than the women's.
Reginald Hudlin
Yes, yes, that's
did the
him. That's
first
him.
one,
That's
and
him,
then it
Reginald
has
Hudlin.
is listed as Shola Lynch.
Oh yeah, okay. And she's big time.
Mhm,
But here's
mhm.
my thing. There didn't seem to be a connection, a link between the two. It's like they both told them, "Hey, do your own thing." And since they both did their own thing, it looked like we were watching 2 different documentaries. And it just so happened that the way that they decided to shoot the men's documentary, honestly, it looked better than the way they shot the women's documentary, and that then made me think, I wish they had not done this because it looks
Yeah.
like a lesser quality. If y'all had, it seemed like they should have like spoken to each other about how we gonna do this. You know, so it had nothing to do with the women's stories and the information they were providing. It was more production. The value looked different. The way it was, and you looking at the men thing like this is nice, right? And then you
The
get some women thing
lighting
like,
was well.
oh, yes.
Yeah.
It just appears that they didn't talk to each other about how they was doing this because it looked like 2 different documentaries, and I didn't like that because the one that we saw first was the men's, and it drove like a stark contrast to the women's. Again, That's nothing to do with the actual content, though, of the documentary. So I just did wanna say that. That's, like, the only negative thing I have to say.
That's the film
Yeah, that's but
in
so
you.
why do you think people should watch this documentary? Because I thought it was really, like, a mandatory watch.
Just to understand the value, and the struggle of what our stars and artists have gone through. And so just to for those who don't understand, when you say the number 1 on the call sheet, when you are on set and on a production, the number 1 person on the call sheet, or the outline, the schedule of the shoot, that is the
Mhm.
I think Don Cheadle or someone says they set the tone of the film, of the production. And there's more responsibility on you,
Mhm.
not just in front of the camera, but everyone's looking to you and how you lead. If things tend to go wrong in the production, if something goes crazy, which they say most likely always does,
Yeah.
how does the number 1 handle that? And it trickles down throughout the set. And so,
Yeah.
it just talked about that responsibility and some of our mainly the women, having that for the first time and what that looks like. So you're absolutely right. I think the men, you had your Denzel, your Will, Don Cheadle, Michael B. Jordan, and then the women, Angela Bassett, who was just, I mean, oh, Angela.
Mhm. Can't get enough of Angela. I listen to her
The
talk every day.
work, the work
Uh-huh.
that they did. And of course, Halle still being
Mhm.
still the only Black actress for
Say it, P.
leading Oscar,
Mhm.
leading. Now we've been able
Yeah.
to do
'Cause
supporting
Viola with the
actress.
supporting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
supporting, it's been a few, they show that, they show how in the last couple of years we've had a good amount, but
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
number 1.
And that's because you have to actually have a story that's centered around a Black woman for there to even be
Mhm.
a nomination. That's the kicker right there. Nia Long was there as well. Tiffany Haddish, which I'm not 100% sure how
So, I was confused as well because
we could have
was she a number 1 on a
not on Girls Trip.
no. So I was confused at her being in it.
Cause I'm expecting more like we could have gone Queen Latifah. Hey friends, we're just getting this podcast going and we're so thankful for your support. If you want to be updated whenever we drop a new episode or when we drop some of the special things we've got coming, head on over to everythinhaschangedpodcast.com and drop us your email so you can stay locked in. Cool? Cool. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they actually also keep in mind when you're trying to get this amount of celebrities on their schedule, and then even though it's clearly two separate productions, it's got to be presented as one. So that means you got to get all the men together, all the women together. So that probably took a year or two of shooting. Because I'm looking at it and
Several.
I'm thinking like this wasn't recently shot. Like
No.
it wasn't shot in 2024 probably. Like
Yeah.
maybe top of the year at the latest. I didn't like I didn't understand why Quentin Tarantino was in the men's because he was the only white face that showed up. And it was Quentin Tarantino who is seen as being problematic to some, but then to some actors, he's not problematic. He's like, a genius, fine. But I'm like, there was no black directors who showed their face. And so somebody was like, let's put Quentin Tarantino in this, not Spike Lee, not Tim Story, not none of these other black directors. I didn't understand why the one director who got in there was Quentin Tarantino. I didn't, and he said like he had like a 10-second clip, and it was like, why was it important for him to be there? I'm not sure.
And I think it spoke to he was speaking to, the fact that, yes, they're limited in what the Black story can be, the Black actor, because of racism. He called it out, which we all know that, but you're
Yeah,
absolutely correct,
yeah.
like, Gina Price, Wood, like, there were so many other people, which is why I'm hoping that
Yeah.
there's more to come. I'm hoping that there's more to come because we
Yes.
do have a few more, um, actors and actresses that I think needed to be highlighted. I was waiting to see them, and I'm like, "Oh, no, they didn't forgot, or they didn't do it." Or maybe they weren't considered the number
Yeah.
1 on the call list.
Yeah. And you were right, of course, to what you said about the call sheet. The call sheet, it is actually what you get at the start, and it tells you what time to show up. And so as you go down the list, it's like we need to start. Will needs to be here at let's say Will needs to be here at 8 a.m. Okay, but it also lists so like the chef, the catering people, they need to be here at 5 because we need to serve breakfast at 6:30. You know, so like all these people are on the call sheet. But prioritize who, and so it literally tells you what time to show up. Basically, that's the call sheet. And so
Each day.
we prioritizing who we start with the priorities, and then we'll get to you down here at the bottom. Okay,
Mhm.
but it really was such a good idea for a documentary, I thought, and really quite ambitious too, just to get all them people. So I don't want to tell all the stories, you know, because then people might not want to watch. But I will say Eddie Murphy is like the first story that we get into at the beginning. And we was like 10 minutes in, and I had to pause. I said, "What did he just say?" And so I'll just say, because I've seen several people talk about it online, so I don't feel any kind of way about what he said because they've been publicizing it. But he said he's only been on one audition in his entire life.
That was
And I was like, "Okay,
wild.
all right, Eddie. Now, Eddie, I don't know you to be a liar, but but then when he broke it
That
down,
was
he was not
wild.
playing." And you know what's interesting is I'm also
No.
that person who reads a lot, or clearly I watch a lot of documentaries, so I read a lot. Like I have one. I'll find the name of the book, but Saturday Night Live has a book where they talk about how it started, and then all the celebrities who have come through, and they also actually have a documentary series that they just released for their 50th anniversary. So anyway, one of the stories they always talk about is how famous Eddie got. He blew up so fast, and he wasn't 20 years old yet. And he changed the game for like everybody who came on after him, but nobody could replicate that success. So this is what it looked like, folks. When you're looking at somebody that there's something that we're all destined for something. Eddie's was just happened to start before he was 20, which is amazing. So then when I thought about it, I was like, he definitely is telling the truth because he came on the scene. But it
Yeah.
also, too, it made it a little difficult though, from what I remember from all the stuff that I read, it made it a little difficult for black people coming on the show after him too. It's almost like, he set a precedence that they could not live up to. Honest nobody could live up to that. But then as the way our world works, that made it look like, "Okay, well, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, so we need less of you, and we'll take more of us over here," you know? And, this goes back to manifestation that we always talking about. They showed a clip of him saying, "I wanna be famous before I'm 21." Immediately, they was like, "Hey, you wanna do this movie? You wanna do Beverly Hills Cop? You wanna do, Trading Places?" So,
They're like, "Yeah."
can you imagine, P, all the actors and actresses who have to do day after day after day after auditions, years of being told no, and Eddie Murphy was like, "Hey, guys, I auditioned one time," and it was for Saturday
One
Night Live.
time. And everything else that he's done, never having to
Yes.
audition. They just send him the script and he has to decide if he wants to do it or not. Wow.
I love that we can sit and look at so many of our people that we grew up with now, and they're still here. They look good, smell good, you know what I mean? Like, they're still in their craft. They aged, but for the better, you know what I mean? Like, every time I see Eddie outside, I be like, "Man, I'm so happy to see," and he's been outside, more lately. Have you noticed that? Because there was,
Yeah.
like, a break that he took where he was only doing the animated films, which is fine because that clearly made him a boat ton of money, and I love that side of him too. But I'd be happy to see
Donkey,
him.
the
The
kids
Shrek,
know them
I think they
his
having another
voice
Shrek too.
in
Like, I
Shrek.
think he said he
I
signed
think
up
so
for
too.
that that story I thought was excellent, P.
Really quick, I looked up, it says April 21st, 2021.
Excuse me,
They
my
started
birthday.
pro they started production. Happy birthday, coming up.
Uh, uh, uh,
2021.
uh.
So
Okay, yeah.
that
Yep.
explains it, that it's taken a while to be able to
Uh-huh.
sit down and get the everybody, and it is 2 parts, so the 2 directors, and that's why it's a completely different look. So that was the way she chose, that was her choice. I wonder when they put it together or when they sat with it, they were like, "Ew, looks
'Cause
different."
also you can't, like, tell all those people to, "Hey, show back up. Let's reshoot."
Again, after the
That's not happening.
years, it's
It was hard, I'm
2025.
sure, to get them all together. Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Ugh, my God. Um, Whoopi's story always
Oh, I love
is
Whoopi Goldberg.
fascinating to me. She is a staple, and when they talked about she just didn't have that look,
Yep.
the look, the Hollywood look, and once she did her one-woman play, that got her
Mhm.
name out there, and then she was offered roles that other actresses denied. So they were
Yes.
like she was like, "Oh, Bette Miller didn't want Sister Act, so I got that." What?
Yes.
What? What?
Like,
That
Bet.
like, huh?
Come
Like,
on, Bet.
I I can't
She
even
went through, like, 3 or
see it
4 movies.
now. That person said no, and they gave it to me. I said, "I'll take it." And she just
Mhm.
grew on that, and then this breakout of her with The Color Purple as Celie, it
Mhm.
but Color Purple is one of my favorite movies, absolute
Yeah.
favorite movies. Um, just listening to her and everything she's gone through, and she hasn't changed. She's never
No.
she won't bend to what society thinks beauty is. She's just been Whoopi.
Man, and they try to cancel Whoopi, like, every other month. And it's like,
I mean,
y'all don't remember who this
sometimes.
lady is. No, I'm not saying she don't, and especially, you get to an age, you just say what you feel, and you
Yeah,
don't
she just be
care
saying
what
stuff
people,
like, "Girl."
but it's like, this lady has always been, she ain't been the safe bet, ever. She's
No.
always been, you know what I mean? So it's like, we talk about Whoopi, like, I know she's older now, maybe she looks like a nice lady. Whoopi ain't never
Mhm.
been like the straight up, "Oh, I'm a nice person, I'm not gonna say this," that has never been her, so to expect her to be that now, I think is wild. But it's funny because I probably was, an abnormal fan of Whoopi Goldberg growing up, because I don't know how many kids was, like, obsessed with Whoopi Goldberg, but my mom was obsessed with Whoopi Goldberg. So then I was obsessed. I'm talking about, we had Jumpin' Jack Flash, that was the
Jumpin'
movie
Jack
here at the house.
Flash.
Yes, that was,
I love it.
and of course, Ghost, of course, but that was when she became, that was like her crossover almost, where, like,
Mhm.
other people was like, "Oh, this lady is actually, we could." Karina was my movie. I was like in love with Ray Liotta for no reason except that because I watched the movie because of Whoopi, of course. And I was like, "Who is this
Yeah.
white man? Hello, sir." Karina's oh, Serafina.
Serafina.
I watched Serafina so many times. And then there was a movie. Was Whoopi in that with Will Smith? I almost wanna say it was Will Smith and Nia Long, which that's weird because they was on Fresh Prince together. But, oh, Ted Danson was Nia Long daddy.
Um,
What
oh, I
movie is
love
that?
that movie.
Ah,
Made in America?
Made in America, that's what it was. Whoopi in that movie, or did I just, like, put her in that movie?
Yes.
She was
No,
in a no.
no. She was in it. She was in it. Like you
Okay.
said, Nia Long and Will
Yes,
I when I tell you that movie,
girl.
I watched and
Yes.
it came out in it came out in '93. And she
Yes.
was just so funny to me. Will was so funny to me. Ted Danson. It just was
Yes.
a hilarious film. And it's like she's not even trying to be funny, but she was just funny.
Exactly. It's so
I
look,
love that
we
movie.
had I feel like kids coming up nowadays don't have the amount, like, we had movies growing, like,
Made in
good
America.
comedy, family, black what that, like, we had movies, but yeah, we was fans of Whoopi over here. And so, and it's also interesting to me, of course, where it's like, okay, you're not quote unquote pretty, so you can't have this role. But now when you look at like when they start showing the pictures of Whoopi back then, and this is Whoopi literally when she was doing the one woman show or right before, her locks weren't even locked yet. She had just
No,
like she had starter locks in, and maybe not starter locks in the one woman show, but when she started doing press, for real, she had starter locks in. That's how long ago this was, right? And I'm looking at her and like she is stunning.
she's
Her
beautiful.
skin was like, and you're looking at the pictures and you're looking at it like she's stunning though. Look at her eyes. And then for people to just tell her like you're not pretty or you're not beautiful or
Yeah.
whatever, but you looking at pictures like this is a model right here. Like what pictures y'all looking at? She was a model. Like you that's and so it's just crazy when you hear these kind of stories.
And then you put the contrast with Halle when she's coming out of the
Yes.
beauty pageant era and she's
Yes.
a model at first, and she talks about how her beauty sometimes kept her from the juicy, deep pieces because that's all you saw was this beautiful woman, and she is. And when she talked about talking to Spike, asking Spike to let her audition to be the crackhead,
Yep.
'cause he wanted her to come in and be the wife, the
Yes.
trophy wife, and she's like,
Yes.
"No, no, no, let me be the crackhead.
Yeah, come
Try
on
to
now.
make me ugly."
Give me
And
some
it's like,
crack.
"Nah, Hallie, you still was a cute crackhead, like, you're still
Yeah.
just pretty." But I understand what she was saying is, like, they didn't think she had depth because she
Yes.
was beautiful. That's all that they could see, is
Yeah.
her beauty. Um, and so she said
And
it worked for her
when
and
she said
against her.
she went to Second City to study, and I said,
Mhm,
"Oh,
mhm.
she was serious." Cause Second
She's
City is
serious.
it's an improvisation troupe, and you hear a lot of Main Street comedians now, they came up through Second City, which is in Chicago. I think they may have branched out to other cities, but she was like, "No, let me go," because these people out here improving, and just and when she said that, I was like, "I never knew that." Oh, she was really studying her craft, and that
She was serious.
so she was serious, and they was out here like, "No, you too pretty. You can be
You're too
this."
pretty.
But the crackhead, that role was that in Jungle Fever? I think it was Jungle Fever.
I think
But
so too.
that ended up being like her breakout role, which is so interesting because I mean, in any other thing you think, oh, somebody playing the crackhead is like it's a not even a side character, it's just a couple
Jungle
throwaway line.
Fever.
But it ended up being a breakout role for her, Jungle Fever. And I was excited when they started showing the clips of Boomerang. Okay, I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, girl,
yeah, we gotta talk about
that's my
Boomerang.
movie.
I gotta
Oh,
talk about
I
Boomerang.
love that movie. I love it. I
So,
love it.
and so Reginald Hudlin is the guy
Mhm,
who was over this project, or at least over the male uh movie star portion. And he was saying that he had done House Party and that Eddie Murphy saw House Party and was like, "Hey, I want to do movie, around the black experience or whatever. You're the guy." And he was like, "Okay, but I've only done one movie." And now Eddie Murphy, who is the movie star of our generation, want me to he was talking about how intimidating that was. And then but he talked about how Eddie really championed his thoughts about the movie, and when he couldn't get certain things from the studio, Eddie was like, "Let me make a call. You wanted a helicopter in that scene?
mhm.
You're getting a helicopter in that scene." And so he made a call, and he was like, "Okay, what's next?"
It was
But can you
Strong
imagine
J.
you've done Shaun yes, Grace Jones. Can you imagine you've done 2 movies,
I love
and it's House Party, and then it's Boomerang with Eddie Murphy? Like, what
it.
type of but I love that, and I don't think I actually ever even thought about Eddie Murphy as far as him being, um, very specific about being involved in Black story I just don't think it just didn't cross my mind, and
Right.
so, in this, documentary, they were showing us how, no, actually, Eddie was very intentional about this, and then
Okay.
Will went opposite. Will was like, "If that white man over there got this, then I want that too." So Will went the opposite of way. There's a whole bunch of different ways you could do it. Will was always like, "I want to be the number one movie star in the world." So that means that you got to give me what you're giving that white man over there.
Yeah, his strategy was to be global. That's what his
Yes.
strategy, he was like, "Don't give me anything that can't be global," which is why he stuck to, like, the aliens and the big blockbuster
Mhm.
films that really, broke that, "Oh, black films don't translate well overseas," and he was like, "Oh, yeah? Okay. Let me go."
Mhm. So say you.
Will is a different type of dude, though. Yeah. He's a different
Mhm.
type of dude.
Mhm.
I like him, but he even said it. He says, "If you weren't on the same page as I was," and that including the family, and that goes back to the book that we read, he was
Uh-huh.
so locked in on this image and
Mhm.
the idea of Will Smith and wanting to be this global superstar that he just he was obsessed. He was so obsessed, and even when he talked about
Mhm.
they had gotten to what, the 10th movie that reached 100,000,000 or something, and he said, "Well, why didn't it make
Exactly.
150?"
Yeah, yeah.
And his business
And
partner
he
was
got
like,
depressed about it.
Sir, what? Like, you just what?" And that's when he knew, he said, "Oh, yo, I'm tripping. I'm
Yeah.
tripping."
And like you said in the book, he goes into detail about how also that affected clearly his family and his personal life. You know what I mean? And that kind of made him go into like the second half of his life, he had to rejudge some things, right? So
Yes.
it's
Not
always
about
a
you.
full story with everything. It ever yeah, it ain't ever just all good or all black and all white.
Mhm.
I this was such a good documentary. I love how they singled out John Singleton used to
Johnson.
work on the Pee Wee Herman show, which randomly
Lawrence
was a
Fishburne
staple
too.
in my house. Yeah,
Same.
and Lawrence
Lawrence.
Fishburne said that's how he met John Singleton because John Singleton was a PA on the Pee Wee Herman show,
Mhm.
and Lawrence Fishburne was acting on the show, and John Singleton was like, "I got a script. I want you to read."
Mhm.
And Lawrence Fishburne was like, "Okay, cool. Don't let me see it till it's done." And when it got done, he said like a year and a half later, he read it just like it was like he promised, and that script was Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood.
I said,
Amazing.
man, seriously, P, what are the kids gonna have to talk about when they get in their 40s? Cause I mean,
Because our
that was
legends.
crazy.
And you know what?
Yo, it's
Lawrence Fishburne was so good. Of course, we talked about Angela Bassett and what's love got to do with it. When I tell you
yes.
I like the movie, I love the movie, but I hate the movie. I hate
Oh,
it.
it made you sad.
It upsets me. It really upsets me,
Yeah.
and but it's so amazing because her performance is outstanding, and his was too. But when I tell you I couldn't stand Lawrence Fishburne, I wouldn't watch nothing else he was in. I could only see Spike. That's all, and that's how good he was. I didn't see another Lawrence Fishburne film until he became Morpheus. And actually, I didn't go at first. I didn't see the first one
From
until it
Boys
was
in the
out. I was like,
Hood?
"Nope, mm-mm."
Ike, okay. Yeah,
Yes,
eat the
Ike.
K
And he was
anime.
that's how good he was. I forgot that's he's playing a character. He's playing a
Yeah.
real person, but it was so he was so terrifying. I was like, "Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Oh,
Nope.
no.
I'm not supporting anything
No,
that
thank
you do
you.
because you are Ike Turner in my face." It just oh, oh. So, yeah, it took me a long time. I'm dead
Yeah.
ass. It took me a very long time to appreciate him more than just being Ike. I had to see, okay, this is Lawrence Fishburne. He is an actor. He just did too well. Mhm.
Actor.
He did too good.
Yeah.
Actor. Actor. So that came out
Yeah,
in
this
99. Let me see. What's love got
yeah,
to do with it?
it sure did, right before college.
The movie came out in
Give us the
93. So from
deets.
93 to 99, I refused to watch anything he was in. If he happened to be in it, I sucked my teeth and rolled my eyes. I'm telling
Mind you, he
I'm
was paid to play this role.
I know, but it just I could not stand him. And even when I softened, Matrix, okay, and by the time he got the
Okay.
Blackish, I had gotten so much better. But that's
Because
how he could not stand him. Oh, I couldn't stand. He did too well.
you let him have it, boy.
Wouldn't do it. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Not doing it. I'm not watching. I'm not watching anything
Such a good
else.
such a good documentary, you guys. You have to watch this even if it's just for nostalgia's sake, but I promise you you're going to get some stories, you're going to learn some tidbits that you did not know. Okay?
It's
Really really it's
amazing.
brand new too. It just I don't even think it's been out a week right now when we talk about this. So, you've got time. Please watch Me and P and I, whatever. We love a documentary. What's some other documentaries that you think folks should put on their list? I don't know why documentaries are so appealing to me, but maybe because I'm nosy. I just like to know stuff like random ass
Well,
trivia
I
stuff.
think because we appreciate the art, it gives us the story behind it. We just see the
Mhm.
product. And anybody who
Mhm.
knows who's put on a show, even planning a wedding, any kind of event, the background, the planning of said
Yeah.
event is
Yeah.
way crazier than the actual event. And so hearing how certain classics are made and the drama and the things behind it is just we're artists. Dare I
Yeah.
say that you and I are artists
Yeah.
and we just appreciate
Yeah, you are.
that story. But of course go with we talked about Luther, Quincy. There's a few more.
Uh-huh.
Did we watch
Uh,
Sly? Did you watch Sly and the Family Stone?
I haven't watched it yet, but I said I was going to because I think Questlove was a part of
Same.
the I will honestly watch any documentary, anything that Questlove is a part of. I just think he's a genius and, he knows so much. So I'm
I
like,
gotta
"Let
watch
tell
that
me what
one.
you know, Quest." Um, but yeah, that's on my list, actually. I'm so glad you said and for anybody who missed it, one of our earlier episodes all about the Luther Vandross documentary that P just mentioned. It was called Never Too Much. It came out originally on CNN. I think by now it's over on Max,
Mhm,
and OWN. And then the Quincy documentary is on Netflix. I think it's just called Quincy.
mhm.
We touched on that as well a bit at one of these episodes, but we did a whole breakdown of the Luther documentary. I think it was the maybe the guardrails are off, which would be episode number 3.
Okay.
What else, Pete? Luther,
Well, check it
Quincy,
out.
any other docs come to the top of your head?
No, but as soon as we wrap, things will come. But Sly, that's on Hulu.
Okay, perfect.
Hulu. Yeah. All
Woohoo!
these
Got me some good
platforms
TV.
tend to this one now is the one.
I would say the Lisa Frank documentary for me. I think it's a must watch for anybody who grew up in the 80s and 90s and was into Lisa Frank because
I need to
I did
see
not know
that.
all this stuff was going down. It's called Glitter and Greed, the Lisa Frank story, and it's on Amazon. And
Okay.
it's several episodes. It's 3 or 4 episodes, and it talks about the actual company of Lisa Frank. And I was like, "Oh my god." This is it actually, to be honest, it made me feel away.
Yeah.
So, it ain't the most, happy-go-lucky documentary. Well, how
Okay.
many of them are, right? It really tells you, about who Lisa Frank was,
Mm.
and then which is separate from the company of Lisa Frank, which ended up being run by her husband at the time, and it was not run well, let's say that. So, on whatever day you wanna know some tea, okay, with a side of nostalgia, that's just a good one if you were a Lisa Frank fan like I was. Like, them Trapper Keepers, I would only accept a Lisa Frank Trapper Keeper. Okay, I wasn't having no Trapper Keeper if it wasn't Lisa Frank. I had the lunchbox. I had the pencil case. I had all the pencils, all the like Lisa Frank was my girl. So that one, and in the same vein, the Bob Ross documentary, that's on Netflix.
The
The
painter?
painting guy, yes. It's on Netflix. It's called Bob Ross, Happy Accidents, Betrayal, and Greed. I must have a theme because this again tells you about it. Bob Ross was the white guy with the afro who would paint on like PBS. And I was the kid who had the easel and I was trying to paint right alongside Bob Ross. And so it tells you about him and his company and how he got on PBS and all that stuff. Again, not a happy-go-lucky because when you find out stuff about people you loved as a kid, honestly, it's not even finding out stuff about them. These two documentaries really go into their business, how it was run, and so now it just makes you think about the stuff that you was supporting when you was a kid.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing, but if you loved Bob Ross, it's really worth a watch. Because you get to learn more about the guy and what he kind of had to go through to become that guy who we will never forget, rest in peace, Bob Ross. I think those will be my documentary recommendations, at least for now.
Yeah.
And we'll put links to all these in the show notes for sure.
All right. But for now, go back and see number 1 on the call sheet. That's the most recent on Apple TV.
Yes.
Both part 1 and 2. And tell us what you think. Hit me up on Instagram at Better3701.
Yeah,
Where
you
can they
can
find
find
you?
me on Instagram and Threads at Hey Shonda Head. You can also find the podcast on Instagram at the Everything Has Changed podcast. So let us know what documentaries y'all are feeling lately so we can add more to my list. I add more to my list so we can add more to our list. But I'm pumped for some. I love some good TV, and a documentary is I don't know, maybe I just done got old because that is my favorite. That's my favorite use of my leisure time is a good documentary, girl.
Oh my God. As always, we appreciate you and we will see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Want to stay locked in with us so you never miss an episode? Visit everythinghaschangedpodcast.com and join our email list. That way you'll be the first to know about new episodes and all the fun stuff we have coming your way. Meet us over there.